Greetings survivors and friends, SHADOWFRAX here with every detail you need to know about this month's patch to PC Rust that happened yesterday and what's coming up, including some new siege weapon visuals and backpack skins. But first, two new playthings this month to fill those gaps in your arsenal, with first the Tier 1 or handmade SMG as it's called, which is finally here, and which those of you in favour of recycling will be glad to know is cobbled together from bits that were going to be used in the now cancelled modular weapons system. You'll find it here at the end of the Tier 1 tech tree, or it can be researched directly for 125, crafting costs of 5 high qual, 200 frags and a spring. No body needed. It holds a decent amount of 9mm, which goes some way to offset its lack of raw damage. Plus, in a slight surprise, which I say because this thing has a checkered history, the SKS has also been added as its own weapon this month. Followers of my channel here will know that there's been a long internal debate about whether to add it as a skin for the SAR or a separate weapon, with the former presumably being the preferred choice. Ka-ching! And the last thing I was told was that it was being shelved altogether, which did seem a bit odd, but here it is. And you'll find it now at the start of the Tier 3 tech tree. It also costs 125 to research on its own, and crafting costs 12 high qual, 200 frags, 1 semi-bod and 2 springs. Here are the stats, and as stated it sits somewhere between SAR and M39, being an all-round solid item with good range, accuracy and damage. The spicy new Wolf AI has now been merged with a completely overhauled behaviour system which sees them stalking you, working in packs, jumping on foundations to turn your leg into a flute, eyes glowing at night and a general fear of fire. But there are a lot of nuances for you to discover, including apparently a top secret feature. So if any of you come across something really unexpected like surprise leg humping or a dog fart attack, etc., then please let me know. I'm intrigued. Also, you'll be pleased to know wolves are allergic to baths and won't chase you through water now, which is nice. The long-term plan is to move on to upgrade the intelligence of other animals and scientists, but who knew it would all start with dogs, eh?
Where are my testicles, Summer? They were removed. Where have they gone?
The Gesture Pack DLC has dropped and is available on the store for a paltry £6.39 or just over $8 and includes such classics as Finger Guns, Loser, Shh, and Knuckles, plus Rock, Paper, Scissors, which you can only initiate if you own the DLC, but anyone else can join in. There's a new section to the gesture wheel to accommodate these, which you'll need to assign them to in the settings, and apparently other interactive gestures are being considered for the future. But what could they be? High fives and fist bumps? Perhaps even the odd secret handshake? How about a slapping contest? Does this count as an interactive gesture? Let me know your ideas below. Oh, and you can now surrender whilst ducking, in case you want to make yourself look small or something. In other changes, floating objects like corpses, boats and boogie boards will now float gracefully downstream in rivers. And there are a few good quality of life changes this time round, with I/O indicators for electrical, water and industrial items to show where the ins and outs are. Plus, you can change the colours of these in the accessibility settings. In mixing tables, you can now click a recipe to auto-add the ingredients if you have them. Repeat clicking will stack the ingredients one at a time, and shift clicking will add the max number you can craft. Also, any recipes you can't afford will be greyed out. As well as this, there were some general performance and memory improvements to mixing tables. All water wells will now have a shopkeeper, so it doesn't matter which ones spawn on your server, you will always find a friendly gas mask. Map marker names now default to numbers, which can be switched on and off, and you can change their default color too in the settings. Plus, server owners can now change the default length of time it takes to unclaim a bag using this convar. Default is 2 seconds. As shown last week, there's been an overhaul to flashlight visuals, and miners' hats are included in this too. They should now be much nicer visually. Hemp should be a lot easier to see as it is a bit more neon now, and the resolution of counter screens has been improved to make them easier on the eye. Oh, and don't forget to tell them they've finally given us scientists night vision outfits in the military tunnels, as we are kept permanently in the dark. Mind you, what's new, eh? Twitch drops a Rust mobile announcement and backpack skins next, but first, I have a Rusty sponsor this week. Fed up with boring old normie Rust? Project Lazarus Original is here with a fresh survival-focused experience inspired by DayZ, transforming your gameplay with a scavenging system that lets you loot items directly from the ground at monuments whilst evading hordes of dirty zombies. and staying infection-free. Standout features include a dynamic player-run marketplace, unique redemption and schematic systems for long-term progression, and a battle pass system with quests and rewards. High-tier explosives can't be crafted, you'll need to buy them from outposts, adding an extra layer of challenge. And to succeed, you'll need to earn money in creative ways, scavenging and selling items, participating in custom combat events like convoys and control zones, robbing banks, or even building an empire by growing and selling narcotics. With unique mechanics, exciting events, and a constant zombie threat, Project Lazarus Original is a dynamic, immersive server that's perfect for players looking for a truly different Rust experience. Plus, for a limited time only, you can claim a free 3-day VIP pass by typing /SHADOWFRAX in chat when you join. Connection details are in the description below, or search for Lazarus in the modded tab. Off you go. Back to the video, and as mentioned last week, the team have added the ability to hear in-game voice chat and music through all CCTV cameras, so technically, I guess you can now run your own TV station. Plus, you can shoot out Monument's CCTVs for 5 minutes at a time, which disrupts the visual feed by 95%, although sound will still be active. There's now a copy-paste function for admins as shown last week, which can be used to copy and paste pretty much any player-made constructs, including NPCs, vehicles, and even player models. For a full rundown on how to use it, there is also a wiki page now, which I'll link in the description. All monuments and caves now have been updated to use the new cliffs and rocks where necessary, which means locations like the sewer branch, water treatment, and military tunnels all match visually with the rest of the world and are less likely to break your legs /spacebar. Also, a few new small rock formations can now be found scattered around hill cliffs. Further to last week's expose regarding Rust mobile testing in China, an announcement on Twitter this week's been made with an official Discord now open for it if you want to stay up to date on progress there. And large backpacks are now a skinnable item, with lots of them popping up on the workshop, it seems. Talking of which, the first official skin seems to be this one, which will be available in the next round of Twitch drops coming in the latest Rust Kingdoms event over the next couple of weeks, and you can see all the skins on the Twitch drops page. And I'm told more new skinnable items are planned in the coming weeks. More changes this month include an upgrade to the downgrade to the effectiveness of rad water, with splashes doing 40% more damage and sprinklers doing 70% more, and I'm just hoping we get water balloons at some point now, perhaps in a forthcoming summer DLC. Just a suggestion. Admins can hold left alt in third-person view to orbit their character and mouse wheel to zoom in and out. There's a teleport to grid command for admins too, which takes you straight to the centre of the specified grid. And there's a couple of handy new convars, as you can see here, to firstly clear vending machine names with certain words in, and secondly to clear all user-generated content by a user's Steam ID to save you tracking down all their artwork. And looking at the dev blog, there's 40% off Rust and all of its standalone DLC this weekend. Many official servers have just had their hardware upgraded, but don't worry, all BPs have been transferred, and there's a nice update on the anti-cheat situation, which gives figures since July showing such Rust facts as over 72,000 permanent bans having been issued and a tiny 5.3 million reports having been received across all servers. As for progress in the future, server-side culling is going to start rolling out this month across official servers, which basically means anyone hidden behind something won't be networked, and this should plug a few cheat holes, subject to change, probably. But also, Facepunch have teamed up with a third party to handle takedowns of cheat-related content online, with further legal fronts being worked on. You have been warned. There are also a ton of miscellaneous fixes this month that I won't go into, but you can read all about them at the end of the dev blog, or pause here. Let's see what's being worked on over in the commits now, and the 4-shot mini crossbow is the next toy being worked on, with a view model currently being done. Siege weapons, which are currently on the AUX 02 staging branch, which isn't open for testing yet, are trundling along nicely, and recent commits show a few more details. You'll apparently only be able to tow them with horses now. Hitting something with the battering ram will damage its head, and you'll be able to repair it with high qual. It also won't be able to damage blocks above stone tier. Players will be able to place their own doors on siege towers, and said towers will also be able to be tipped over, but if this happens, you will at least still be able to use them as cover. And today, I have this new render of the ballista to show, which is still subject to change, of course, but is certainly taking more shape and is a lot more detailed now than shown last week, being made of an old pallet truck complete with busted pallet. Hopefully we'll be able to test these soon, along with shields, which are also on the same branch in which I showed some untextured models of last week. Talking of which, this commit shows which weapons will be compatible with a held shield. There's more work on blowpipes as well, although this one appears to be a bit further off. There's mention of ice sculptures, no doubt something for next month. There's a branch working on Unity 6.0.24. Also, this commit concerning a jungle building skin. No word on which tier it's for, though. I guess that all depends on whether it's bamboo or jungle ruins stone. We have a branch dealing with cloud improvements with an increased prominence of wisps. And there is, of course, a whole slew of other things being worked on, such as a primitive game mode with eras, as looked at in last week's vid, that I'm told we may be getting in January or February. And further afield, a jungle biome with jungle animals, vines and ruins, which I will of course attempt to show you more of when I get it. You are now bang up to date, but please let me know what you think to this month's patch down below and leave a like and sub to help my channel grow if you'd be so kind. You can join me in a few other places, including my Steam group. All links are below, and support this channel via Patreon, YouTube memberships and super thanks. Thanks once again to Project Lazarus for sponsoring this video. Go and check them out. I shall catch you all soon. But in the meantime, keep calm and stay rusty. Cheerio.
Where are my testicles, Summer? They were removed. Where have they gone?